Practicality is overrated in the sense that nothing truly great really comes out of being practical. Being practical is being expected. It means people are underwhelmed as it is something that they've already seen before. We look at risk taking so negatively as if the world wasn't built on those risks. The United States wouldn't be the United States if we were practical in 1774, when the rebel army faced off against the British Navy with a fleet of 1,000 ships versus our Navy of 3. If you could even call it that. We weren't thought to come out of it alive, but we did. We were naive in thinking that we could actually beat the strongest military force in the world during that time. But here we are, in 2018, reading about our impracticalities and what they've done for us. When people seem to have abstract ideas, society shuts them out because it's not reasonable, or it doesn't give immediate results. Great things take time. There is no quick fix to creative genius. There is trial and there is error, again and again and again. Just because you did it wrong one time, just means you found 1,000 ways not to do it. Thomas Edison. Forbes leadership columnist Margie Harwell wrote an intriguing article talking about is it playing safe, holding yourself back, 4 risks that you need to take. In this article, she speaks on the fear that debilitates our society into submission in the workplace, in the relationships, and in life as a whole. When we spend so much time with our head to the ground, trying to do what sounds right, or what our parents or what our family thinks that we should do, what is merely expected of us, we miss out on the wonderful opportunities that life has to offer us. Mistakes happen, and that is completely okay on the road to greatness. Being impractical is life taking the road less traveled. It is outside of society's comfort zone and yours. The great inventions of this world didn't come from people being practical, didn't come from people believing what everyone else said about them. They had different thoughts in the masses, and because the way they thought, they were shut out from the societies that they lived in, alienated, made to feel like they were crazy because they challenged the status quo. Yes, their way of thinking was different, and their thoughts were definitely not of their time, and they were seen as strange, which in turn shut people off from the possibility because it hadn't been said before. Those like Galileo, whose ideas were less favored by society, especially the church, his ideas were way ahead of his time, which is probably why people thought nothing of him. And he wanted to implement what he wanted to be onto society, but his discoveries are used as examples and the base today, and as the basis of astrology today. His thoughts weren't practical, but they've outlasted him long past his time. Practicality isn't always the best road to take. In 1946, Darryl Zanuck, the head of 20th Century Fox, something we all know, said television wouldn't be able to hold to any market for more than 6 months. How many of you have televisions in your home today? Dreams aren't practical, but we continue to follow them. Many things we hold near and dear to our heart that comes from someone, our mothers, our grandmothers, the things that they couldn't do. If we tell people to be practical, we are telling our children not to dream. We are telling them to think of something within society's box. There's things that we need to do in order to be our true selves. Don't be what's practical. Don't be what's expected. Don't be boring. So be impractical. It can lead to really great things.